Right, hello everybody, and here we are to discuss my 5th acting class, and a fantastic class it was, and I even have some of the material that we did, which I can talk to you guys about. So, for those of you that watched the last video after my 4th acting class, you'll remember that we did contentless scenes. So these are, for those of you that aren't aware, are scenes that I think would be best described as contextless rather than contentless. And you're given a really simple script with very little information in. For example, I will read you an example script, right? Good morning. Good morning. Hello. What's happened? What do you mean? Don't you know? It wasn't meant to be a difficult question. I still don't see. I think we need to start again. Do you understand why you're here? Do you? Do you have to do that? No. Do you? And you see, they're clearly discussing something, but we don't know what it is. And that's why it's a contentless scene, because we don't know the content or context of the discussion. And our job in the class was to get into groups and create the content around the scene and then deliver the scene. And there were a couple of absolutely killer scenes. And one of the ones I was in was really, really good fun. I don't know if it was one of the... Oh, excuse me. I don't think it was one of the super highlight scenes of the class. I loved it because I was in it and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I will tell you the scene that we did, explain the background around it, and then I'll tell you about those other 2 scenes, which were just blinding. But first, I think I need to have a sip of my tea. Yes. Right. So there was a second set of scripts for 2 actors, which I don't have with me. I've only got a set for 3 actors because there were 3 people in my group. So first I'll tell you about the scene that I did, because I can actually read you the script for it, and then I'll tell you about the scenes that the other guys did, which were just blinding. But I won't have the actual scripts to go through. I'll just tell you the content of them and how and why they were so interesting. So the scene that we did was called Can You See It Now? Oh no, I See It Now. So, it's very short. Look how short it is. Not a long script. I only actually had 3 lines. Here's how it goes. To indicate each person, I'm going to do it like this. So this is person A, this is person B, this is person C. So that should be clear enough. ABC. Oh, that's going to be really difficult to do like that, actually. Okay, I'm just going to have to try and intonate it so you can tell that it's a different person speaking. Ha! I really don't... Actually, before I do this, when I read it, just think about what comes to your mind. What do you think this scene is about? And then I'll tell you what we made it about. And they'll probably be completely different, or maybe nothing will come to you. I don't know. Ha! I really don't see it. Really? It's obvious. It must just be me then. Yeah, probably. I really don't get you sometimes. Why not? I just don't. But I try so hard. Maybe that's the problem. Most likely. How can I change? Oh, I see it now. That's it. So that could be about a multitude of things. What we decided it was about was a brother and 2 sisters in the 1600s in a palace that were royals. So a prince and 2 princesses. And they were bitching about their mum and dad, the king and queen, after dinner because mum and dad want them to go to war. One of the characters doesn't want, two of the characters don't want to go to war. One of them does. And that character is very similar in terms of their behaviour to the dad, but they can't see it. And the other two can. And then that line towards the end, how can I change? And then there's that long pause. And that's when the other two characters looking at him as if to say, the fact that you just said that shows just how much like dad you are. And then the other person goes, oh, I see it now. We set it in Germany. I was the brother. I'm a party animal. All I care about is partying, not going to war. I don't care about my dad. He's actually been taken as a prisoner of war, actually. So I've got the detail a little bit wrong when I relayed it to you a moment ago. So we've obviously just finished lunch with mum. Dad's been taken, and two of the siblings don't want to go to war to help dad. One of them does. And the one that does is very similar to dad, but can't see it. Okay? So now with that context I've just given you, I will read it again and see how it impacts the way you interpret the lines. Ha! I really don't see it. Really? It's obvious. Must just be me then. Yeah. Probably. I really don't get you sometimes. Why not? I just don't. But I try so hard. Maybe that's the problem. Most likely. How can I change? Oh, I see it now. So, not going to lie, that's quite difficult to attempt to do those three characters on my own. But I gave it my best go. And, I'm to call myself, I've said it in my other videos, I'll say it again, I'm a total novice and don't claim to be a good actor. All I'm doing is explaining to you what we did in my class. And it was super fun. So, did anything come to your head? Did you picture us being in the German palace? What did you see? Where did those lines take you? What context would you have given them? And it's interesting what you do because we've got this other sheet, which is like how you build the context. Question 1, who am I? Question 2, who are the other characters to me? Question 3, what surrounds me? What's happening? That's 2 questions, but they're both under number 3. Number 4, where am I? 5, when is the scene occurring? Why is my character here? What do I want? That's question 6. Question 7, why am I unable to achieve my goal? What is preventing me? And question 8, how do I get what I want? I could go through all of that in a lot more detail, but I'm going to be completely honest, I'm a little bit pushed for time tonight. I thought I had a spider on my leg then, but I don't. So I'm not going to go through that in loads of detail. What I'm going to do is just quickly tell you what those killer scenes were, and then I'm going to wrap it up until my next video, which will be in a couple of days. So one of the scenes was just someone it was a 2-person scene. Character 1 walks in and says, hey, and the other person goes, hey, a long time no see. Yes, indeed. How are things? With what? Oh, the world. Not bad, I guess. You? No, not good. Are you okay? Yeah. Do you believe me? No. That's not 100% correct, but I reckon that's about 95% right. So what came to your head with those lines? When I heard the first dry run, what came to my head was not very much at all. Like just nothing. I was like, oh dear, no, nothing's jumping out at me. And then one of the girls shot her hand up and she went, guys, it's a conversation between God and the devil. And we were all just like, oh, it's so good. And then they did the scene again with the person saying, how are things, with the world, being the devil, and the other person being God. And the context of them two getting together was there was a third entity that had come to try and destroy heaven, earth, hell, everything in between. And God and the devil were about to discuss a team up to take out this person. And obviously, but none of that gets spoken about. The actors just have to deliver the lines knowing about all that subtext, and we as the audience know the context as well. It just changed everything. It's really, really fascinating and really, really good fun. And it was amazing how they're a talented bunch of people I'm working with, for sure. I think, in my view, everyone there's a beginner. And this is our 5th lesson. But when the guys were doing this scene, I was on the edge of my seat like, this is just so good. It's just so good to watch. But then they got trumped slightly later by 2 guys doing another scene. And my memory of the lines on this is a bit fuzzier, but I'm going to try my best. So it was something like, it's happened again. Really? Yeah. How? I don't know. But it's not my fault. Well, it never is. Oh, don't bring that up again. Can I help you? I tried. It was something like that. And basically, the context that was given to that was that the person had crapped their pants. Not normally the way I would describe it, but I'm conscious of swearing on too much on YouTube. And that was really funny. And they ran through it again, and we were all really laughing. They were pretending that one of them had shat themselves. Oh, that feels better. And it was entertaining. But then our teacher said, guys, I'm going to throw a spanner in the works. Let's keep the subject matter about someone accidentally doing a number 2 in their pants. But the person who's done it is having end-of-life care and is about to die. And the other person is their long-term husband. So pretend you're a gay couple. I think he actually threw in the detail of whose AIDS he's dying from. But he's so unwell, he's so close to the end of his life, he can't control his bowels. Whether that actually happens or not when people have AIDS, I don't know. But that's what was happening in the scene. And just everything changed. And the way one of the guys, not the one that was dying, the other one, the way he was delivering the lines, like, don't drag that up again. No one knows what it is that's not being dragged up again, but something from their past. And it was preceded by this really somber, heavy conversation. But nothing was being discussed, but we just knew the background. And it felt heavy. And all of us were sitting there watching it just amazed at how emotionally engaging it was. Yeah, really something. And I wouldn't have expected to have been so moved by such a simple scene by actors with only 5 acting lessons under their belt. Really, really cool. So, that's all for today. In our next lesson, not our next lesson, because this isn't a lesson. In my next lesson, which I will talk to you about, we are going to be acting out some scenes from movies and TV shows, existing scenes. So we're not needing to build in the context. It's already there. And that's going to be fun, because rather than spending so much time building characters and background and information, we're just going to have it ready to go. So that's going to be fun. All right, well, that's me done. Oh, sorry, I'm so gassy. It's not good. I will probably do another video between now and my next lesson of me doing some kind of acting exercise, improv or monologue to be confirmed. Wait a minute. To be confirmed. The exact detail will be revealed in my next video because I will have decided by then. Give me a couple of days. Right, thanks for tuning in. If there's anyone here, whoever you are, if there's anyone, hello, and thank you for watching. And if no one is watching, well, thank you, YouTube, and my camera, and myself, and this microphone for giving me the opportunity to be able to verbally journal, which is kind of like what I feel this is. Excellent. Well, cheers then. Bye.